Good. First of all, I would like to thank you very much for investing your time in and coming over to listen to this message that I am here to share with you. So just quickly, I would like to thank UP Zürich for organizing this amazing week, and so that we can spread the message that mental health issues are very important, and that there are beautiful tools to help us deal with this precious resource for mental, emotional well-being. So just shortly about myself, I'm a serial burnoutie. That's not a badge of honor. I went through this 3 times, and each and every time I learned a lot. And the last time, I think I got the main issue causing all these repetitive burnouts. And I help people with chronic stress in all kinds of forms. I focus on the emotional side of it, and the beliefs, and then actions follow. The beliefs, the unhealthy beliefs that need to go, and the healthy ones that are very welcome to be instilled. And I also help people with accepting and loving their bodies. So body positivity, I'm a psychoeducator in that too. But let's finish about myself. So just quickly to recap, I have a presentation to share with you. I can see it in slides mode, but my co-host saw it with the whole surrounding. I'm going to use it anyway. I hope you can focus on the message. So let me share my screen with you. So this is me here on the right-hand side, going to work with the heart underneath my arm, because I work with my heart open. Great, so let's go to the, I cannot go to the next, excuse me. Okay, let me share my screen. I apologize. Let me share my screen again. Okay, now we're going to go the manual way. So this is, it's a little bit slower. That's how it goes. Okay, so from ego to oneness, confrontational and transcendental tools. So let me start with just reminding us what chronic stress is. So chronic stress is not acute event, not 1 event, 2 events, 3 events, but this is an ongoing, prolonged period of stress. And chronic stress is the symptom of unresolved interpersonal conflict, inner conflict, for example, living inauthentically, not living with our own truths, or having these very unhealthy beliefs about ourselves. Chronic stress is the result of traumas that were unhealed, traumas from the past, also unpleasant events, emotionally unpleasant events from the past that have not been healed. This could also be generational trauma that stresses us from the subconscious way, without us really knowing consciously that this is what stresses us. It can also be disease, so physical disease, mental disease, disease in the family, also extensive caretaking. This can also be circumstances that we are in. For example, when our survival needs are not met, like living in war zone in danger, having restricted resources, living in the unknown of what's going to happen tomorrow. Also personality traits can contribute to that. Personality traits like, for example, very deep empathy. That is not kept under control. I am a deep empath myself, and it's sometimes very difficult. Are you, is there any empath among you?
Yes, for sure. Me.
Thank you, Charlene. So you might share some of the experiences that empaths have. So also personality trait like high sensitivity. I'm also a highly sensitive person. So when these are not under control and the environment is not adapted, then we tend to end up in chronic stress. So this, just to remind us what chronic stress is the prolonged situation, prolonged stressful situation. So let's go to our first confrontational tool. Can you see my slides?
Yes.
Wonderful, thank you. So confronting others is good, is always good, provided we do it the loving, non-violent way. Or, as I do very often with my clients, you can confront those wrongdoers in a meditative situation state when you confront them in your mind in visualization. So this is always good, very healthy. Yet today I would like to concentrate on confronting the self. As you know, we cannot change other people's behavior. We cannot change the way they think without violence. But we can focus on what we can change within our own being. So the first tool is confronting the self, meaning I keep this conflict, stressful situation alive by what is it that I'm doing? What is it that I do that allows this conflict to be created, that creates this conflict, but also keeps it alive? I have a little example here. For example, demanding things to be my way. I demand that my daughter does what I tell her, that's it. Okay, for example, I don't, I try not to. And another tool, what is it that I'm not doing? So ask yourself, what is it that I'm not doing and I should be doing? What is it that I'm not doing that keeps this conflict, this situation, stressful situation alive? For example, I'm not wanting to understand others' point of view and their needs. I don't want to understand that my daughter, for example, wants to be heard. I don't want to be open up to this idea. I don't want to sit with and say, well, okay, how do you see this situation? Good. Next is we're going to confront our beliefs. What is it that I believe about myself that keeps this stressful situation alive, or this conflict? So I believe that I know better how to solve the issue and I have more experience. I am the parent, for example, and that's it. And I have the right to exactly exercise this parenthood by believing that parents know better than children. So when you ask yourself, how am I keeping this conflict alive? I keep this conflict alive by believing that I should, or I shouldn't, or I have the right to demand, for example. I must do, I must be, I must not be. How is it? What is it that I believe about myself that contributes to this conflict, to the stressful situation? And when you get your answer, ask yourself, is this 100% true? And we know truths are very subjective. Very subjective. So my truth may not be your truths, other people's truths. And now, what is it that I believe about the others, the world around us, the community I'm in? Those that co-created the traumatic events, those that I am still in conflict with. What is it that I believe about them that helps this conflict remain alive, that creates the conflict and helps the conflict remain alive? That they are in a certain way or they are in a certain way, that they have certain knowledge, they don't have certain knowledge. For example, kids don't have the knowledge to contribute to the solution. I believe that kids I don't, but this is just an example, that kids don't know enough. They don't know what they need. They don't know what's good for them. Well, sometimes they don't, but to have a belief like that over the other is unhealthy, is not good. It contributes to this situation, to this situation to last that long. Great. So another tool is I have two things now. So I don't know if you know, I guess you do, that in every situation, stressful situation, every conflict, even traumatic event, there is a gain. There is something that we gain. There is something that we are benefiting, whether we want to admit it or not. So what do I gain at this situation? For example, if I'm the parent, I get to keep my expert privilege. This expert status, and I do not need to confront myself. I do not need to see that I may be exercising my arrogance, that I may be a bit limiting, arrogant. I don't have to confront myself when I keep this status. I know better. This is my game. I stay there. It's good. It's comfortable. It's easy. It doesn't hurt. When I don't confront my ego, it doesn't hurt. It hurts me in a different way, though. When you get your answer, so I keep this conflict, stressful situation alive by keeping my gain, which is when you get your answer, write it down and then ask yourself, am I ready to let this pseudo gain go? To be able to transform this conflict, to end this stressful situation. Am I ready? Often people are not. But if I am ready, then there is the light in the tunnel. Then there's this possibility to hold this, to interrupt this chronic stress. Yet if the gain is if the gain is greater than the pain of opening up, or if the gain is greater than the non-existence of the chronic stress, of healing the conflict, transforming, transcending the conflict, if the gain is better, then we have little chances. The next thing is, there's always a lesson. There's always a lesson to learn from any unpleasant situation, any and all unpleasant situation, all stressful situations, all conflict within interpersonal conflict, within inner conflict. There's always something to learn. And when we are in this situation that lasts, there is something we don't want to see, we don't want to learn about ourselves very often. And about the others as well. So what is it that we don't want to learn on our side? For example, that my keeping the expert privilege, the parent privilege, no matter what, is not good for me in the long run. Is not good for the family either. But even if I was to think only about my own mental well-being, only about myself, I would see that this is, at least for me, not good in the long run, is not working. This is costing me more than I am gaining from them giving me, than the situation is giving me. So the cost is greater than the gain. So that's my lesson. And when you get your answer, when you answer this, I keep this conflict alive by not wanting to learn. What is it that I don't want to see? What is that I want to learn? I don't want to learn. What's that lesson I'm avoiding? So when you get your answer, you can ask yourself, am I ready to learn compassion, for example, and open-mindedness for my own well-being? Am I ready? So this is, these are the tools, the confrontational tools. Are there any questions? Anyone wants to comment on anything? Okay. Right. I guess there are no comments. Can you hear me well?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Right. Let's go to the transcendental tools. I love transcendental tools. I love the situation, the feeling of going into the observer state, the feeling of lifting myself higher than those little games, those little conflicts, ego fights, personality fights, role fights, and just feeling that this is all just a little game. Okay, sometimes has great impact, right? Often, if it's prolonged and chronic stress is involved, yet it's so beautiful to just leave and go into that state that lets us, that reminds us what is really important, who we really are. So before we go into that even softer tool, transcendental tool, I would like to invite you to have these four thoughts that help us to transcend conflict the softer way, compassionate way. So first of them is, just like myself, this person is doing their best to avoid pain and hence feel happy. Their way. So this reminds us that we are all on our paths of learning through painful situations, through joyful situations as well, but a lot of it is through painful situations, and we all choose the way to react, to live within them and to transcend them. So when someone is reacting not the way we like, it's good to remember, just like myself, this person is doing their best to avoid pain, their way. The second thought to embrace, maybe we can even call them truths, I don't know what you think about that, is, just like myself, this person could have been conditioned to believe that they are less than in any way, that they are not enough in any way. So many of us have been conditioned to believe that, this huge lie. And I've worked with, I don't know, hundreds of people by now, during seminars, close to 1,000. And I only met one person that I worked with one-on-one that has not been conditioned to believe that she is not worthy, less than, or not enough. So it's good to remember that, just like myself, even though I don't want to see it, I don't want to admit it, this person could have been conditioned to believe they're less than. So here we can connect to this person empathically, compassionately, and try to exit this little play going on here within the conflict, and this, I'm doing this, he's doing that, and see, okay, we are in the same boat, a similar level. Another truth or sentence to embrace is, just like myself, this person is doing their best to prove to themselves that they are worthy, that they are worthy of acceptance, they are worthy of love, they are worthy of admiration, they are worthy of taking the space on this planet. This is a very deep one. When we have to prove to ourselves that we deserve to be here, we deserve to be loved. This is yet another lie that we've been conditioned to believe. Huge lie. We don't have to do anything right or wrong anyway. We don't have to do anything. We don't have to be anything to deserve the place here on this planet, to be taken care of, to be loved, to be accepted, just because we are. We are this beautiful divine being who is just a gift, who is a gift the way they are, to themselves and to this whole world, to all of us. And we don't need to do and be we don't have to do anything. We don't have to be anything to deserve love, acceptance. So sometimes we do silly things, negative things, to prove to ourselves that we are worthy of love, acceptance. Because we believe that if we present these findings and our boss finds our presentation great, we get a promotion, and then we deserve that pay, we deserve respect, we deserve admiration from others. If we just push ourselves a little bit more, if we please this person or the other, then they will like me. And then if they like me, I can like myself, love myself, and then I deserve to be here. If others like me, accept me, love me, then I can love myself and I can deserve to be here. This is a big lie. So just like myself, people are trying to prove to themselves that they're worthy of love and admiration, acceptance. The fourth truth or sentence to embrace is, just like myself, this person wants to feel accepted and worthy of love, because even those people who pretend they don't want to be loved and feel accepted, they actually do, deep down there, they do. So we all want to be loved and accepted, because then we can relax. Even if we just wanted to be accepted by God, I mean, it's huge, right? We still want to be accepted and loved. Because then we can relax. We're no longer in stress, it's okay. We'll make through it. It's okay. If we loved by God, by others, then we deserve to be here. We're good. We can love ourselves. Any questions? Anything to add?
No, I really appreciate your perspective. Thank you. Really cool.
Thank you. Thank you, Charlene. I'm going to check the time. Okay. So I have the last tool, Transcendental tool. This is a beautiful exercise, and nobody really knows where it comes from. And it's been people found it, traced it back to yogis. This is when we start. This is an exercise best done in pairs. That one person is asked who they really are, and this person starts with these most superficial identities, labels that we are given, that we like to identify ourselves with. And through this exercise, we can go down deep to the truth, to who we really are, and let those identities, falseness, superficiality go, so that we can transcend again our little games, our little stresses, little or greater stresses, little or greater games. And we can reconnect with that oneness, with who we really are, and oneness with all that is. So let me explain. So one person is asking, who are you? And the other person, who is sitting relaxed, best with their eyes closed, is ready to respond. So in my case, I'm going to do it. Does anyone want to do it with me? Just ask me, who are you? And I will respond, and they will say, thank you. Does anyone want to do it with me?
I can do it with you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Charlene. Thank you. I'm excited. So all you need to do is ask me, who are you? And then when I respond, you say thank you. And then after a little pause, you ask me, who are you? I'll respond. And there might be a moment when I'm just in this bliss, in this oneness, in this pure consciousness.
Perfect.
Yes. And then you just say,
Okay,
wonderful.
so who are you?
I'm a speaker today.
Thank you. Who are you?
I'm Monika. I'm a mother. I'm a healer.
Thank you. Who are you?
I'm this fighter for love.
Thank you. Who are you?
Empathetic and embracing all that is, hopefully.
Thank you.
You can ask me more.
Who are you?
And that being full of nature.
The breakout room is in.
Okay. So are we still on? Okay, so then,
We're still here. Yep, sorry, Naomi was just given a
yeah.
time check. Sorry about that.
So the idea is to go deeper and deeper until we feel like we are one with the ocean, love, sky. I am you, you are me. We are pure love. And then there might be no answer. Very often there's no answer. And by that moment, we are so deeply relaxed and closer to our soul and pure consciousness, and that we really are. Thank you so much.